Hey, this is Jake with Back 40 Outdoors again. Just kind of working on our food plots once again here. I was just going to show you this particular food plot. It's one of my favorite ones. We actually haven't hunted over it for 2 years now because of the high water. As you've seen, it's right next to a pond, little pond right in the middle of the woods. And around this whole pond is a ridge full of oak trees. So you can about imagine it. There gets to be a little deer traffic coming through here in the fall once the acorns start falling, and you know, once the water supply starts getting shorter and all the little lowlands that dried up for the year, this one gets hit pretty hard. What we're going to plant in here this year is kind of a combination of things. I'm going to plant Antler King's trophy clover mix. And then also what I'm going to plant on one end of it, I'm not sure exactly yet how I'm going to do it, I'm going to plant some honey hole in here. So I'm going to have, within probably 300 yards of each other, I'm going to have my big food plot, which is the north of here, not big, but my biggest. I'm going to have this one, and then to the west I'm going to have a couple little ones that you've seen us working up on that logging road. So as you can see, there's after you haven't been here for a couple of years, there gets to be some down trees and some brush that I'm going to thin out here. So we're just going to today I'm just working on getting all the trees out of here that I can, and then we're going to till it all up again, fertilize it, lime it, all that deal, until we seed it later on this summer. One thing I did want to touch on that's kind of, I'm not saying I invented it or it's not my idea by any means, but whenever you're brushing something out, and you know you're going to be hunting in an area, I always like to look at what tree I'm going to be hunting in first of all, and I'm going to focus. You know, this is a good time to be trimming out your shooting lanes anyways, being you're here. So I'm looking at what tree I'm going to be hunting out of the most, depending on a northwest wind or a south wind, which is the majority of the time here in Minnesota. And then also, when I got all this down brush, I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to pile it up in a particular spot where I know that I can set up my double bowl ground blind and use that as a natural camouflage, you know, up against the back of it, so it breaks that outline of my blind up even more. Plus then I have brush available that I can throw on the top of the blind right away, so I ain't got to be cutting trees down or cutting limbs off, you know, in the morning when I pop my blind up. So that's kind of where we're at on the food plot scenarios. Stay tuned to Back 40 Outdoors, and make sure to check out our forum. We've recently moved from back40outdoors.com to sagecreekforums.com. So check us out under the do-it-yourself forum. This is Jake with Back 40 once again. It's the 13th of May. It's last night we got a little bit of rain. Today it's about 70 degrees. So I wanted to get in here and get all my Antler King products planted, other than my honey hole, because my honey hole I wait till about beginning of July to plant that, so it's nice and tender come November, December, and January for the deer. If the honey hole grows too long, it gets kind of stocky and a little bit tougher for the deer to eat come later in the season. So, but other than that, I'm going to get all my Mini Max and my trophy clover mix planted today. When I'm planting these smaller plots, as you can see, like this one here that's on the logging road, I plant these all just with a broadcast seeder, a push broadcast seeder, just like the same type that you use in your yard when you're fertilizing or planting grass seed. I've found that if you're trying to use a pull behind spreader behind the ATV or a smaller tractor, it's harder to control where your seed's going and how fast you're moving, if that makes sense. So that way I know I get the proper seed coverage. We tilled these up about a week ago, and I just got done raking them all out by hand, getting all the the excess leaves and twigs and that kind of stuff, debris off the trail. I put down some fertilizer already, and now I'm going to seed on top of that, and that way when I re-rake all the seed under and pack it, that way I know I'm raking that fertilizer under also, because the soil's already damp. That moisture in the soil should break down the fertilizer instead of having to water it like you would in your yard. I'm really glad I'm getting in here today, because I think the mosquitoes hatched out last night, and they're thick. So unfortunately I got my turkey hunting season coming up here, started on Friday, so it could be a little interesting in the woods. But stay tuned. We got this plot and 3 others just like this to do today, and then I got the one up on the swamp there that I showed you guys I was working on the other day. So we're gonna do some fun stuff with that one later on, so stay tuned. Back 40 Outdoors. Hey, one little tip that I do got for plant food plots: when you're planting a clover or anything with a little seed like that, make sure you got a firm ground that you're planting it on, and then rake it in, and then it never hurts to pack it again. As you can tell, I don't have an actual packer or a roller to pull behind, but a four-wheeler or tractor works just as good, just to get that seed. You don't want that seed any deeper than 1/4 inch underground, but just to give it a nice firm seed bed to grow on, to put a good root. That's a key thing for planting any type of small clover or any type of seed that's a tiny seed. Well, here we are with food plot I was showing you earlier in the week, right along the pond here. This is kind of my little project for the year. You can hear Eric's coming right now. I tilled it up with the small tiller earlier this week, but I'm not real happy with all the compost and debris left. So Eric's gonna bring the big tractor up here with the 6-foot tiller, and it's got a little bit more horsepower behind her, so we're gonna try eating it up a little bit more. And then I'm gonna level it off and seed it here and put some fertilizer on it and call her a day. Dug up this whole food plot twice now, twice with 2 different tillers, once with the little one, once with the big one, which you've seen. I've re-drove over it a whole bunch of times with the 4-wheeler to pack it back down, because it was a good like 4 to 6 inches of nice fluffy black dirt, which is great. But like I said before, you want to make sure you have that tight seed bed. So what we're going to put in here is Antler King's Trophy Clover Mix. This is good for 6+ years, so we're gonna get this going this year, and then keep rebuilding on it each year. You're obviously gonna have spots that don't take off as well as others. One other thing we're gonna do, being we got such good sunlight here, and we got awesomely rich dirt because of the water right here. The soil's just, we've had nothing but good success here growing stuff. So what I did, and I don't know, I might be wasting my time, but we went out and bought a bunch of just regular pumpkin seeds that you buy at the seed store here for this time of year for planting in the garden. But we're gonna plant a whole bunch of pumpkins here, and also we got some corn. So we're just gonna hand plant 4 to 8 short rows of corn. We're gonna have two big mounds of pumpkins, pretty much right dead smack in the center here where you get the best sunlight. So the clover I know is going to take off. We'll see what happens with the pumpkins and the corn, but it'll be kind of fun to if the pumpkins do take off, it'll be kind of fun hunting over a pumpkin patch come late October and early November when the deer are going crazy over them. So stay tuned to back40outdoors.com. Check out our forum at sagecreek.com. We're going to keep doing updates on this all year. I got my tree all pruned out that I'm planning on hunting out of the saddle in, so hopefully we can maybe even get some velvet footage of some bucks eating off the Antler King.